So I am going to do my weekly reflection for week one. My current thinking of ESOL education. I think, especially nowadays, it's very important to have ESOL education, especially in Miami-Dade County. We have a variety of cultures and diversity here in Miami-Dade. I do think that the program, though, has expanded, has become a lot better than it used to be. I myself was an ESOL student. I was born here, but my parents only spoke Spanish. So I grew up learning Spanish and only speaking Spanish and had to learn English. So I was in ESOL for many, many years, um, which was good because then I became, when I was in high school, I ended up taking AP English because ESOL helped me so much. I did watch the two videos. I watched the Superman video. I really wasn't surprised by the video itself, just because again I grew up in a lower income family, and so of course wanting your kids to go to great schools is always important. And I didn't know, however, that now they were doing lotteries for those types of schools. Usually back then we would just change our addresses so that we could go to the better schools, but I was not aware that they were doing lotteries for those schools. I do think it's difficult, not only for the kids, but also for the parents, people that live in those type of neighborhoods. It's difficult for them to even help their kids. For example, my parents, like I said, they didn't know any English. So for them to help me with my homework was just not going to happen. I had to kind of figure it out on my own. And as my son now is growing up and we're teaching to the core, I realized that I have to go back and educate myself, because a lot of the things that they're teaching in the schools now, I didn't know growing up, or the teaching methods are different. Um, Race to Nowhere, that was also not a very surprising video because, like I said, my son is in middle school now and I am experiencing that with him. He has homework every night. He just signed up for soccer. He's been playing baseball since he was 3, but now we're trying soccer. So it's going to be like the soccer meetings and practice and games. Plus, he's also going to Miami Arts, which is a music school, and he will have to be practicing for his instrument. So it is a lot of pressure from the kids. I think also the core exams are becoming very big pressure for the kids. When he was in third grade, I had to deal with him coming home crying, worried about not passing third grade, even though he had great grades. The fact is that if he didn't pass the core or the exam, he would not pass. So that's becoming really difficult for the kids, and they're coming home with this pressure. Um, I think that also plays into the philosophies of education, which our professor sent us information about. Um, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's many different philosophies, and I think many people are just a mix of philosophies. I don't think there's one philosophy that you could really base yourself on. I think nowadays you kind of have to be a mix, but my question is, like, really, do we get to really practice these now? Now that the teachers are being forced to teach to the core, to teach the specific types of exams, they don't have really the freedom that they used to have to teach these basic philosophies that they love. And then I think it's also causing a love of loss to these children on the school's not as fun as it used to be. And teachers had a way of making it fun. But when they're pounding, these different types of exams on these kids, are the teachers, or us who are becoming teachers, going to have the flexibility to teach these philosophies that we believe in? Like, I believe in the multiculturalism. I think we're all different. And it becomes different for even teachers to teach to these different students. If you're getting 30 kids a class, and let's say you're teaching middle school, I mean, and we're going to do early education, so we're only going to be teaching, the same students over and over, which is great. But with other teachers that are teaching middle school, you get 30 kids a class, that's 6 different classes. How much time do you really have to focus on these individual children? Which is why I think it's better, or why I'm focusing more on early education. So I get to spend more time with these kids and know that if they have difficulties, I can pinpoint them and work with them directly. The other one, also teaching, being anti-bias when you're teaching. I think that's a little difficult to do, especially when these kids come in already, not say programmed, but raised in specific beliefs or cultures. and us trying to teach against that, trying to teach, if they are coming in with biased ideas, us trying to take that away from them, or trying to educate them on how not to be biased. So I think the readings were great. It's a lot to take in, but I think it's really good because I think this class will help us to learn what bits and pieces we can take from these different philosophies and try to incorporate them in our teaching examples or ways we're going to be teaching in our classes. So thank you guys. I hope to look at your videos this week and maybe make some comments, and we'll be working on our next project. Thanks. Bye.